So today I am making my third and final helmet video about the NEXX XWed2 helmet. We make a full lineup of GoPro chin mounts for individual helmets. They're specifically designed to the individual helmet in that the mounting surface is specifically designed around all the contours and everything, around all the vents, so that way it doesn't affect the form or function of the helmet. It sticks on there using double-sided 3M mounting tape, which is waterproof, and it's mounted, it's very secure, and it also, we use a lot more surface area than like the GoPro sticky foot, for example, so it's very secure, it's not going to fall off. We actually weight test these, and a lot of them can hold like 45 pounds before they fall off. So much more than anything you're actually going to mount to these. They're made out of a rubberized material. It's a flexible, hardened rubber material, so it is basically indestructible. Run these things over with a truck, we've smashed them with sledgehammers, we've dropped bricks on them, all on the same mount, and the mount was perfectly usable in the end. So they're very sturdy, and the mount is probably going to last as long as the helmet is going to last for you. So the really cool thing about these particular mounts is that we have just recently, and then this is like one of the first ones that we're making videos about, created this additional lobe that allows you to mount a light underneath where you mount your GoPro. So here you can see the GoPro and the light mounted up. I just wanted to point out that the mount doesn't get in the way of any of the air vents, so this one has an air vent that you can still have access to, unlike some of the ones that you can get on Amazon, like the cheaper ones that kind of mask over the front end of the helmet, basically rendering your front chin vent unusable. So ours is designed around all of those features of the helmet, which is really nice, even with the GoPro and the light mounted on here. The cool thing about the light mount, aside from the fact that you can mount both the light and the GoPro at the same time, is it allows you to get really good night footage. These tiny lights are super bright. You can get like 2100 lumens, and it's enough to give you a really cool, clear view of the trail and what you're actually riding over. But it gives you, the GoPro, enough light to actually get good night riding footage. And with this being an ADV helmet, right, if you're riding backcountry roads, or if you're riding like a fire road or something like that, you're still going to want to be able to see into the corners. And the problem with bike lights is that they're facing the same direction that the bike is going, and they're also bouncing over the trail, right? With the light that's mounted to your helmet, it's very stable. It stays in one consistent spot. It's not bouncing all over the place, so you're not distracted, I guess, by that. But it allows you to see what you're actually looking at, which is oftentimes not the direction that the bike is pointing. So if you're going around a corner and you want to look into the corner, you're able to do that and actually see where you're going very well. And it's a very stable light, much like the reason why you mount the GoPro to your head is because it's the most stable point while you're on the bike, so you get clear footage, not only because of the light, but because it's just not bouncing around as much. So one of the cool things about our mounts is that we take into consideration the tip back angle. We allow you to mount the GoPro far enough away from the helmet so that you can tip it back so that it's parallel with the top of the eye port, which is basically as far up as you're able to see. So if you're standing on your bike, you can tip the GoPro back and you can still get that parallel view of the horizon, rather than if it was mounted any closer to the helmet, it would be something like that, and you would stand up and you basically would be looking straight down at the ground, which is not a view that anybody really wants to see while you're riding. The last thing I wanted to mention about the light is that, at least with this light, it's fully adjustable. So you basically point this light straight down. You can also use this mount with any light that is using these GoPro mounting forks. Really, there's a ton of different ones. We like these because it allows you to keep the weight of the battery off of the helmet, so that way you don't have that just additional weight pulling down in your neck. These are very light and they're very just low profile. They don't hang down very far and get in the way. So they're really nice for this application. And just like I said, this is what we designed it for, and so it's fully adjustable in it. The mounts for both the standard mount and for the light mount go through this direction, And the reason that we did that is because it's on the opposite side of where the battery door is for the GoPro Hero 8, 9, and 10. And so when you're trying to open up the battery door without the media mod on, you can have easier access to it because you're not contending with the screw head. They designed the media mod with it in mind to go through this direction, so they cut this out, but it doesn't really matter because the electronics are on this side of the GoPro media mod, and that makes it thicker on this side, and so it's actually easier to get your finger on the screw head from this side and actually tighten it down, as opposed to this side you can actually grab it. The screw goes through in the opposite side, the opposing side from the knurled nut, right? It goes through this way so that you can tighten it down and actually torque down. We've had a few people put the screw in from the same direction or from the same side as the knurled nut, and when you tighten it down, it just pulls the knurled nut out, which is no good. You don't want to do that. So make sure that you're putting the screw in from the opposing side of the knurled nut, and it'll tighten down fine. So I'm going to mount the standard mount, the non-light mount, real quick, and I just want to show you guys how we mount these. So the first thing you're going to want to do is put the mount up to the helmet, and these mounts are designed specifically for the individual helmet, meaning that in their resting state, not flexed at all, they're going to fit up to the helmet right where they're supposed to be mounted. With a mount like this, there's a potential to spread the wings too far and mount it on too far, which is going to affect your tip back angle. You want it to be mounted exactly where it was intended to be mounted, so that way you get the full benefit of the mount and you know exactly where it's supposed to go. So once you know that, we're going to provide you with a couple of alcohol cleaning pads, and you'll clean off the helmet. Make sure you get all the dirt and oil off of it so that the sticky pads stick really well. Then you can go ahead and peel off the 3M backing tape backers, and then you can just kind of pull back on the mounting wings just a little bit and just set it on where you know it's supposed to go, and then just press it down like so. And after that, it really is never going to come off. It should be fairly or very secure. So here you can see the standard mount that we've always offered before the light mount. This will allow you all the same benefits, right? You can put the GoPro on here, you can put the light on here, but you can't do both at the same time, obviously. So if you just want the single mount, that's still going to be available on our website. We'll just make both available now. The last thing I want to talk about is just wide chin mounting. So we've gotten into this and we've done a ton of riding and a ton of filming, and this is why we make these GoPro chin mounts. The reason why we like to mount these to the chin of the helmet is that it gives you the lowest possible point of view while riding over the terrain, gives you that kind of depth perception, right? So with a GoPro, if you have it on top of the helmet, it's looking down on the terrain more so than if you are mounting it to the chin bar of the helmet. With the fisheye lens that GoPro still has, really helps provide that depth of the field of view, right? Makes it look like the terrain that you're riding over looks like what you actually experienced, rather than just kind of making everything look flat, which is what GoPros have been known to do. The other thing is that it keeps the footage centered with your point of view as opposed to mounting it on the side of the helmet. It also keeps it more protected with things like branches and whatnot. If you had it mounted to the side of your helmet or to the top of your helmet, the branch could catch it and swipe your GoPro off. Could even just, even if it's just tilted it up, you'd basically get hours of footage of the sky, which is not something anybody wants. The last thing about it is that it puts the GoPro right in front of your mouth, which is great for the audio pickup, especially with these media mods. So if you're doing any kind of motovlogging or anything like that where you're talking to the camera, our mounts are going to give you the best audio reception directly from the mic on the GoPro. Wait, and there was oil leaking out of here.
Where?
Here? Wasn't there? When you punched it?
Yeah, I punched it here.
And that was...
did it again.
Just now, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go over real quick what we actually provide you guys with. We're gonna sell you one of our mounts, whether it's the light mount or the regular mount, doesn't really matter. That's what's gonna come in the box. Oh, and I wanted to mention real quick too, we do sell replacement 3M mounting tape. This is basically one-time use, so if you decide you wanted to take the mount off of your helmet, you're gonna need to buy replacement tape. And we do glue the tape on with a rubberized glue. It's a Gorilla Clear Grip glue. We use it because it bonds the tape to the mount really well and keeps it from falling off. But if you're going to replace the tape, you're just going to need to buy that glue as well. It's available at basically any hardware store. If you're going to get a new mount, you're going to get a screw. You're going to get some cleaning pads, enough all cleaning pads, and you're going to get one of our regular stickers. You're going to get a Wannabes Mobcast sticker, which is our podcast where we talk about all things motorcycles, but we're interviewing legends in the sport like Graham Jarvis and Cody Webb and Destry Abbott and a bunch of other big names in the sport. So if you're into podcasts and you're looking for a new one, check that out. And lastly, we are providing a sticker that was made by Kel's daughter. His daughter drew this for the company, and so we had it made into a sticker, and now it is included in our box. And the last thing, the Wannabes Bible. This has all of our information. So this QR code is going to take you to our product support page where we have a ton of information, not only about mounting and the mounts and all of that, but also other helpful videos that we make here on YouTube about recording all day from an external battery, or we have a cool one about recording audio to your GoPro from a Sena device, audio Bluetooth recording device. So check that out if you're looking for helpful videos for doing motovlogging. On the other side, we have installation instructions, and this is also our warranty card. So these mounts come with a full lifetime warranty. We'll replace them, no questions asked. If you have an issue with them, just hit us up and we will send you a new one or refund you. I think that is everything. I know I just threw a lot at you guys. Check out the links to this mount in the description below. We'll add links there. We'll also add links to our social media channels where you can see footage of us using these mounts. That'll be down there as well. If you have any questions, you can drop those in the comment section below, and we'll get to you as soon as we can. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and buy a mount. Thanks.